Over the decades, I've come to embrace the fact that there's more to archery hunting elk than just killing them. I'm Brian Husky, and I invite you to come along as I go exploring, wide-eyed and wired to wander. A brand new season, a brand new sense of wonder, and another chance for that squirrel on a treadmill that is my imagination to touch back down to earth and run wild. For real. Hunting season is the pinnacle of anticipation for so many of us who call ourselves outdoors men and women. This was the start of the 2015 season. Yet at that point in my life as an archery elk fanatic, one could rightly question just what I expected could be any different than the previous 10 seasons, which had brought me as much, if not more, frustration than satisfaction. But as I've tried to vividly describe in so many ways, the adventure, exploration, and learning involved in thoughtful hunting pursuits, in the end, always provides me with a lifelong, nourishing satisfaction. It's kind of crazy, as much as I profess to love hunting alone, that many of my 2015 hunts were shared in the company of buddies. I kicked the season off back in the area I call Nirvana, and this time with my longtime hunting buddy, Harris. As I'd spent chapters 8 and 9 describing, this place had a population of elk that were quirky, to say the least. And it wasn't until the final days of the previous 2014 season that finally I saw the first cow elk, yet had found plenty of bulls throughout the season. Traditional elk calling tactics had proven ineffective with these bachelor bulls. So I was now prepared to deploy basic spot and stalk mule deer methods. We'd simply try to find a bull and close into range. As Chapter 10's cold open revealed, Harris and I had some substantial good fortune right out of the gate. But I'd like to recap and reset that event a little. It was August 31st, the second day of Idaho's archery season and just our second day in the field. Like a couple of lizards, Harris and I were scaling along high elevation ridge lines when a rubbing bull opposite our location caught our attention. I'll let Harris take it from here.
We spotted this bull rubbing this tree right here from that far ridge. We watched him creep down the ridge, and we set up in the bottom of the draw down there. Started cow calling. He got up, was looking at us, wasn't doing anything. Decent.
Yeah, he's got great tines.
He kind of wandered around here, bedded down a couple times, and we could see him silhouetted against the horizon. It was awesome. Got a bunch of pictures and video of him. So drop down and in and up. We figured he hadn't gone far because Husky saw him run away one time when we called. Scram!
And well, yeah, per my expectations, when we set up from several hundred yards out and tried a volley of soft calling tactics, like all the bulls from the season prior, this bull too showed zero interest, eventually walking over the hill and out of sight. We crested the spine of the ridge exactly where we'd seen the bull last. The wind had just the slightest pull, not steady like the flow of water, but delicate, like fog draped across a lake with no evident ambition. Harris suggested I take point and make a move, but for some reason, in situations of team opportunity, by default, I actually prefer to stand back and play a supporting role. I guess it also just makes a lot of sense, given that I already had a camera in my hand. And as a storytelling filmmaker, I honestly get as much satisfaction out of holding a camera as the fishing rod, handlebars, or bow.
So we come sneaking over here. Brian spots him down there. He's down there rubbing. We park it right here. I was just gonna hang out till he left. He's like, it's 50 yards. Go, he's rubbing. Just run up to him and shoot him. So that's what happened.
I mean, it's not rocket science, right? Our individual hunting styles were kind of forced to reconcile here in the heat of the moment. There wasn't much left to sort out at this point. With the bull completely engrossed in rubbing this tree, Harris crept forward. Over what felt like an eternity, he was eventually within chip-shot bow range, and all Harris needed to do was slip over to the clearest shot at the bull's vitals. He moved so gingerly within the wide-open space. At one point, as he crept, Harris looked back at me, and I whispered with exaggerated animation to basically hurry the hell up. The bull's head was essentially in the toilet at this moment, but an opportunity this golden would not last. I remember thinking in all caps, is he just waiting for the wind to swirl or what? Just get into position and shoot.
I shot him from 40. I think he was a little closer. 30, maybe. It looked good going in, though. And I think it just whisked him. I think it passed straight through, because I could see no arrow, but he's in that thick stuff there, so it's hard to say. But he didn't know what happened, and he was looking up here, but he couldn't see us, because I was wearing my mask. Then, finally, he spun a 180 and kind of nosed downhill and took about 2 or 3 steps.
I felt stunned, in awe actually, to be in the presence of such incredible good luck, as this bull walked into the open and stood broadside while Harris nocked a second arrow.
And I was able to stand up and get another arrow out of him. I saw that one. It was a little bit back, but, strongly quartering away. I think it's good.
Now, I can honestly say at that moment, and everyone since then, I was completely stoked for what had just happened. It felt like I had given a wonderful gift to a dear friend, like a champion gift giver, something I'm terrible at in real life. Not that the bull was mine to give, but it would have made complete sense for me to have taken point and advanced on that bull. In my heart, though, I wanted Harris to have the chance. Plus, I've always been a big believer in karma.
Oh, it looked like money. But I did not see it.
What about the second shot?
The second shot was good. It was back a little, but quartering forward. Definitely lungs. Only about half of the arrow penetration, though. The first shot, I don't know, it either whisked him. It looked good flying.
Second
It's really thrilling just to be in the presence of success like this, to witness the glimmering moments of life sprinkled down upon someone, especially a friend of 30 plus years, drilling 2 shots through the boiler room of a sturdy, mature bull like this.
That's an old rub, but
You freshened it up.
right here.
Yeah.
Some branches on the ground. This one's crazy. Is I was on top of that mountain earlier. Husky was taking a nap. And I looked down here at this spot every time I'd glass, and I thought I saw something. I thought the color, but I never could ID it. I must have looked at it 50 times. So I went up that mountain over the top, and then I worked my way back down this glass and this ridge. There's a couple more saddles up here that just looked great too.
Indeed, all Harris's good, clean living had this bull destined to wear his tag. And time stood still for him to select the shot that he wanted. Harris knows what he's doing hunting elk. In hindsight, I have wondered how my aggressive tendencies hunting elk would have played out in this scenario. There are moments in a stalk when moving fast enough is essential to seize an opportunity. Wind is just waiting to swirl on you. And in my view, there are few seconds to squander. It's a matter of when, not if, a critter is going to get wind of you.
Shot it, man. I was dodging these things, so.
Oh, yeah. Not a ton of blood. But that was your...
We were sizing up first blood in the direction of tracks when Harris whispered, "I see a bull." "On his feet?" I asked.
On his feet.
Nope.
Oh,
Piled.
oh,
Piled.
piled up.
Yeah. Piled up.
Look at that. Holy crap. Yep.
104 yards. Piled up. 104 yards.
Even after spotting the bull and confirming he had expired, I still wanted us to go through the motions of tracking. And this brings up an interesting point. The fact that so many hunters out there would understandably celebrate right there on the spot and book it straight to the downed bull. The prize, the trophy, the priceless gift prematurely spied without the meticulous wrapping paper, which time and tracking add to the experience, if only symbolically.
Seeing any blood? Tiny bit.
Had I not been there, I'm not sure if Harris would have gone straight down to the bull or taken up the investigative stage of the harvest with careful inspection of the final tracks and trail the bull left behind. I'm pretty sure he too would have preferred to include the tracking.
Dude, look at this.
It's an Indian artifact.
This must be a good hunting zone. And look at this.
To me, every chance to track an animal in this kind of circumstance is a platinum opportunity to increase one's experience and learning. It's also a sacred step in the process that feels insensitive to me to ignore. Like telling the giver of a gift not to bother wrapping it. You just want the goods in hand immediately. To me, Tracking an animal that has consumed so much of my dreams and imagination for so long deserves this part of an honored ritual. It's the final spokes required to make a wheel round enough to roll, to refine and polish a hunt, to make that wheel contain as many details as possible. As the more points of connection, the better rounded the memory will be, eventually forming a three-dimensional sphere, as smooth and perfect as my memory can make it. I'm the type that feasts on building anticipation, that annoying person on Christmas morning who peels wrapping paper back slowly, carefully, and saves the paper. Not to reuse, but more importantly as a memento, forever connected to a gift like this, of such enormous grandeur. To soak this shared success in, I'll step aside now and get my words out of the way.
Look at that. Look at that tree. Look at all the blood. Oh my God.
Big tree.
Look at that. That's what I heard. Hold on. He went, look at this, just running. And pretty much died midair. And hit this tree. And ripped it out of the ground. And probably just did a huge cartwheel. And look at that. Great bull, buddy. Great bull. Holy cow, he did. He broke off his main beam.
Flex that back on.
Hell yeah, you are. Holy cow.
Massive. I can't even put my fingers around it.
And broke his main beam in the fall.
Oh, he's got I wonder if he came rolling through that tree.
Might have.
I'm Brian Husky, and hey, thank you for watching and coming along. Oh, and by the way, anyone notice that that's not the same bull?